I'll say the quiet part out loud. There is no more frustrating team in the SEC than South Carolina, because performances like the one that you saw in Norman, those are ones that actually make you believe that this team has turned the corner. Welcome on into the SEC Unfiltered Postgame Show. He's Dave Shumate. I'm Cole Thompson, breaking down everything that we saw at Memorial Stadium as the Gamecocks Beamer Ball defense wins championships, secures a 35-9 win over Boomer Sooner. Welcome on into the SEC. Make sure that you download the podcast version of the show. Make sure that also you're following us on the social channels, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Make sure that also you hit the subscribe button down below and the ring notification. That way you don't miss a single show right here on the SEC Unfiltered channel. Dave's Talk Ball, live reaction Sunday Fun Day, live reaction post-game shows such as this one. Follow Dave at Mock 10 Sports, me at Mr. Cole Thompson, and check out all of our great work found at scunfiltered.com. This post-game show is brought to you by our friends over at Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com, use the promo code SECU at sign up to get a $50 instant play when you set your first $5 lineup. Prizepicks.com, promo code SECU, $50 off when you make your first play. Dave, I'm going to be completely real. I am frustrated if I am a South Carolina fan. I am so frustrated if I am a South Carolina fan because I see this team take that next step forward. I see this team look awesome on defense. Nick Emanwari, Dylan Stewart, Kyle Kennard, Tonka Hemingway. You get a big pick six. You get a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Beamer Ball is stepping up. They avoid the fake punt. And ultimately, you then look at the offense and go, that's why we struggled against Ole Miss. That's why we struggled at times against Alabama. And it just feels so good to get this type of win. A win that you really needed, but also one to kind of set yourself apart and say, we belong in the very middle pack, if not the upper middle pack of the SEC. But then you have to come back to reality and realize what's wrong with this offense. It has to get better if they want to be sustainable. But again, defensive performance of the year, one of the best overall outings I have seen from this unit. And Nick Emanwari, congratulations. You needed less than 15 minutes to lock up SEC Defensive Player of the Week.
I mean, South Carolina won the game. The defense won the game. The offense didn't even score a point. They won the game. So 21-0 right off the – honestly, I've never even seen a start like that offensively. I mean, that's about as bad as a script as you could write. I mean, it's almost like you couldn't believe it. But no, you give South Carolina advantage. Credit. They took advantage of that, turned them in 2 scores. Thought they built a phenomenal wall off the Nick Emanwari pick 6 there to protect for him. But right off the bat, I mean, I was on the phone with somebody who used to work at South Carolina, and it was funny. It was like, well, this game's over, and there's 9 minutes left in the first. just with the way Oklahoma's offense is, it was just like, this game's over. It's like, man, you feel bad for an Oklahoma fan because you sit there, you're like, I paid for 5 minutes of this, and I have no faith. There's no way we score 21 offensive points. But South Carolina dominate and win, very close to being a 5-1 team. I think that for sure puts them in bowl eligibility. That win right there puts them in bowl eligibility. Got a nice season. They're similar to what we talked about with Missouri just a minute ago, Cole. Every game left on the schedule is winnable. They're that team. Like, it's just like you're probably going to lose a couple, but you can also win every one of them. If you wanted to be honest, there's no losable game on that schedule 100%. We'll talk about Oklahoma here in a minute, but there's not much to nitpick. South Carolina's offense scored 10?
I think it was 13 points. I think it was 13 points, if I'm not mistaken. 12 or 13.
It depends if you're counting the field goal off the turnover for the 24.
So then what would it?
Off the fake punt. You count the 3 points, which so it wasn't like an impressive offensive performance, but at the same time, it's a little bit like
it doesn't have to be, though. That's kind of the problem.
To beat a really good team, it is. But I'm saying this game today, it didn't.
But to me, the big thing is that when you look at what works and what doesn't for South Carolina, when their offense is at least slightly above average, they will be in every single game.
Yeah.
They will be in every single matchup. And they were last week. Look at how they played against Alabama, where they were able to capitalize with the Mazeo Bennett 4th quarter touchdown. When you look at how they were able to find Nick Harbor in the front of the end zone for a score. But then you also have to throw in the missed 2-point conversion. You have to throw in the muffed handoff that led to a fumble. You have to throw in the fumble recovery. You have to throw in the fact that it was a big interception downfield by Lenore Sellers. He couldn't live it to the moment at the time. But again, this defense is doing its job. And I know what people are going to say. It's Oklahoma's offense. They've been dog crap all year. I get it. I do. What I also get is that this is an offense that did not do a damn thing to give any opportunity for me to doubt South Carolina's defense.
Yeah.
I mean, how many sacks were allowed? How many tackles for losses? How many turnovers? 4 turnovers in this game.
No, South Carolina dominated up on defense. Yeah, you got to give your flowers to South Carolina's defense. It's a combination of Oklahoma not being good on offense and South Carolina being a good defense.
And I think that's the kind of middle ground that we have to live with, is that, yes, South Carolina has some questions on offense, but we even said when we did the preview for this past week, I trust South Carolina's offense more if I'm in a 0-0
Oklahoma's
game.
offense is literally losing games.
If I was in a 0-0 game and I needed 1 touchdown to guarantee that we walk away with the dub, I trust South Carolina's offense way more than I trust Oklahoma's offense. And that was on display today. We watched it. They could have gotten turnover after turnover after turnover, and a Rocket Sanders touchdown and a field goal would have been enough to secure the win. 10-9. That's what you have.
Yeah.
But again, as a South Carolina fan, seeing the way that we didn't have the best performance in the second half. And yes, I have been on record multiple times defending South Carolina that Nicky Manwari's pick 6 should never have been called back against Garrett Nussmeier. But you also blew a 17-0 lead. We have to go ahead and call a spade a spade. The fact that your offense never got off the mat after being down and out of the count 14-0 against Ole Miss. The fact that your offense had multiple miscues against Alabama and your defense still is putting on a clinic week in and week out. That's the frustrating part if you are a Crimson Tide fan. It is. Yeah. It's the unfortunate reality.
If you're a Gamecock fan.
If you're a Gamecock fan, it's the unfortunate reality that is just simply, again, what else can you do? What else can you possibly do?
No, I mean, you literally can't do anything. I mean, like you said, South Carolina's sitting here feeling really good heading into that bye week against Texas A&M. If you're A&M, South Carolina gets A&M in a perfect spot coming up too. Off that LSU game, South Carolina's not playing. That's a game we hadn't been talking about a lot. Me and you talked about that, Cole. And A&M schedule a game if you're thinking that they would drop one that no one was talking about. It was definitely going to be that Carolina game. But that game got a lot spicier now, where South Carolina's going to have 2 weeks to prepare for that.
Let's talk about Oklahoma. I don't know where to begin. I don't. Do you want to start off with the fact that we said that you had to have a game plan catered around Michael Hawkins Jr., and it took 2 plays for you to realize, nope, not going to happen. We just got to turn the corner. We just got to go ahead and move to Jackson Arnold. Because if I'm not saying that they were going to win that football game, you and I both predicted that South Carolina was going to get a win. We both predicted it was going to be within 7 points. I don't think either one of us thought it would be 21-0 and 2 turnovers for 14 points came off of turnovers. I don't think either one of us actually put that there. But the fact of the matter is that after that first interception by Nicky Manwari, they marched down. You get the fumble recovery. It's 14-0. Confidence is shot.
Yeah.
Confidence is done at this point. Confidence has been done since Red River. He has no weaponry, and you never went to your second punch. When it was 21-0, you did not need to know more, because if you figured there is no way in hell they're coming back in this game. And so you know what? Then you turn to Jackson Arnold. You burn Jackson Arnold, but still, you burn Jackson Arnold's red shirt. What do you do? Because now I think that you have to stick with him.
You have to. Yeah, it's not even a conversation. It's weird to say, but I'm 100% with you, Bear. Like, it's 100. How could you even possibly go back to Michael Hawkins at this point? How could you? Like, I mean, you have to stick with Jackson Arnold. He gives you the best.
He not only gave you the best chance, he also gives you the best opportunity to continue to move the football moving forward. And that was kind of the big difference, is that, yes, there were missed opportunities. There were certainly miscommunications, really, really bad errant throws at times by the quarterback, but he did at least get the ball moving. He found his way into the end zone. That big touchdown pass to Brennan Thompson. At least you see what the potential is. Welcome back on in, Dave. I'm glad that you were here. What were you saying before?
For whatever reason, my device went off, right? That's never happened. That's the first time.
What were you saying before them?
Oh, no. I mean, I was just saying, to your point, you can't go back.
No.
You can't go back to Michael. This is the Jackson Arnold show now. He gives you the best chance. But, man, that's a loss. We talked about going to the week that Oklahoma – just a loss, I think, to South Carolina would piss off Oklahoma people. That's a loss that you got embarrassed at your home field, and the game was over in the first 5 minutes of the game?
At least. I mean, maybe at most you would say the first 9 minutes.
Yeah.
If that, yeah. But, I mean, it was over. But Jackson Arnold at least gave you some life offensively. And I'm not saying it was a lot, but you look at the Brennan Thompson touchdown pass, and you look at some of the plays that could have happened last week in the second half against against Texas, could it have at least have been manageable to where you put points on the board? It was over 100 minutes since the last time Oklahoma's offense scored a touchdown. Dave, that's mind-boggling to me. Over 100 minutes. Like, what are we doing at that point? It's a problem. And more importantly, you have to realize that this is a team that does not think that it should settle for a rebuilding year. No. It isn't. Oklahoma treats itself like they are a prominent program because they are a prominent program. Oklahoma treats itself like it is a team that belongs in the upper echelon of conversations because of in the history books, it does belong in the upper echelon of conversations. But that to me was such an egregious performance. I get that you're limited at wide receiver. I get that you're limited at the offensive line, but you send out a kid who clearly is not ready to handle that type of spotlight. His confidence is shot. And now you also burn the red shirt of a quarterback that hopefully you stick with because you kind of have to because you may owe him that.
There's no identity or any clue what you want to be on offense. They've shown that every week. I mean, I'm going to say a bold statement here. I think this is the loss you look back on. Again, Brent Venables is going to get 2025. He got that new.
He will get one more year.
On in the summer. He's fine. He may be the guy that's on the hottest seat going into the season next year in the SEC. This is the loss that people are kind of like, yep, we can accept Texas being better than us this year. Yep, we can accept Tennessee beating us. They're better than us this year. No, South Carolina, even though they're better than us, coming in and rocking us, putting the knockout blow within the first 5 minutes, that is not what we do at home. That is not acceptable at home. That's the game you circle that I think like if after the Brent Venables era, you're kind of sitting there like, yeah, that was the first kind of chink in the armor. Maybe not the chink in the armor, but like the one it was kind of like, yeah, he probably lost some supporters off that one.
Here's the way that I view it. He's not going to be on the hottest seat because I think that title belongs to Hugh Freeze after not going into the portal, maybe seeing some players enter the transfer portal. There's going to be some question marks for sure. He belongs there. The problem that I have is find a 6th win because they'll get a 5th win over Maine. They will get a 5th win over Maine. I have no doubt about it. But find a 6th win, a guaranteed 6th win because Alabama's not a guarantee. LSU is not a guarantee. Ole Miss is not a guarantee.
Nope. You go to Oxford, you better find something out because Ole Miss's defense is good. You go there next week.
This may have been the only game that you had to where you felt confident that you were going to be at least bowl eligible.
And they still they go to at Missouri.
I would say, and again, we don't know what version of Missouri is going to show up, but it is going to be in Como. So I'm not going to sit here and act like no way that they aren't going to be favored the way that this offense has looked. But it's so much more. For starters, let's just call a spade a spade. You got to move off of Seth Luttrell. Regardless at this point, if you don't want to pull a Les Miles Cam Cameron, you have got to move off of Seth Luttrell. Because here's the point, Dave. Eventually what's going to happen is you're going to see too much of a loyalty factor to where Joe Castiglione is going to go, you know what? Fine. Well, let's keep Seth. If you guys don't get it together, both of you are out the door. Just like Les was. Yeah. Just like Les was.
No, I'm with you. Yeah, he's going to have to go a different direction with an OC at the end of the day. I think that's fair.
You have to also swing big, I think. It's Oklahoma. Swing for it.
Yeah.
I saw in the comment section a second ago, which Mike Prima brought this up. Hire Brian Harsin. I don't think that's the right move. What I will say is, if you can hire Brian Hartline, if you can hire somebody that can actually have a little bit of an opportunity that knows stylistically how to get the passing attack going, I would do that. I would.
Yeah.
But you can't just settle for having a former coach that you have a relationship with and a buddy of yours. I think it's all going to be fine. Because if today was a performance where, once again, the defense, for the most part, did its job. They allowed, 12 points?
Yeah.
12 points
it
again.
Wasn't a bad performance. Hell, off that fake punt, which, again, they're trying to make their punter throw to the opposite hash.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. Your defense holds South Carolina after that to 3 points.
What are you doing? Like, at that point, again, you see the way this defense played. The offense, neither offense really showed up that gave me any life or momentum or joy. What it did was I saw one offense take opportunities and put itself together on meaningful drives, find itself in an opportunity to at least put up points, and they capitalized. And it was a couple of big-time throws from Lenore Sellers. It was a couple of big-time runs from Rocket Sanders. It was overall a very solid performance, 18 points on the day, 18 offensive points. You know what? 18 points for this defense in the SEC, not that bad. Not that bad. But unfortunately, when you have no offense, 18 is too many. 2 is too many. Literally 10 is too many. 10 would have been too many in this game because you only scored 9.
Yeah. No,
that's a problem.
Yeah. Oklahoma. Schedule too, man. It just gets tougher. Where do you go from here?
The part that I will say that I'm very excited about for South Carolina, the team that I have called the biggest wild card in college football this year. Every game on the schedule is winnable. Every single one. Clemson is winnable. Wofford is winnable. Texas A&M is winnable. Mizzou is winnable. Of course, Wofford. The Vanderbilt's winnable. Every game on the schedule is winnable. Every single one. And to me, that's enough to give me the confidence that if we start playing better offensively and we don't shoot ourselves in the foot like we did against Alabama, if we don't give away careless turnovers, we're going to be in every matchup. We're going to be in every game. And we're going to have an opportunity to once again overexceed the expectations. I don't think Shane Beamer was wrong when he said some of you guys could put us at 11 or 12, and you're going to have to really realize that we were not that bad. We understand what you guys want to think about us. We're going to have to prove it on the field. They've done that. But the offense, to me, did not show up again in the greatest of ways, but they didn't have a turnover. So we got to give credit there. They found their way into the end zone, 18 points. It's a solid overall performance, not what you want to see from a team that you feel like should be better. But when you have a defense like that, 18 is good enough. 18 is just good enough.
Yeah, no, I agree. They're going to face some tougher defense. Well, again, against a good defense today, they didn't put up a lot, but you're right. They're going to face some stiffer tests coming up. But again, I think 7-8 wins now, at least in my opinion, because I wasn't high on South Carolina going in. I had them 4-8. But they're better than I thought. Probably about 2 or 3 games better than I thought. But I think they're definitely that 7-8 win category now.
Offense can be better. Defense did its job. When you have, I would say, what feels like a complete performance on both sides of the football, South Carolina is one of the top half teams in the SEC this year. But the problem is that you have to have both sides deliver. And if they don't, then unfortunately, you are staring 7-5 in the face. You are staring 6-6 in the face. You are staring 8-4 in the face. And that's the frustrating part. Because if I do look at this team, I don't think that they're 8-4. I really believe that they can be 9-3. But they have to make sure that they aren't the ones being the problem. Like they were at times against LSU. Like they were at times against Alabama. Like they were at times against Old Dominion. Like they were in the loss to South Carolina. Against Ole Miss. South Carolina is better than what we have seen at times this year. And when they are at least manageable on offense, there is life, there is momentum, there is something to be proud of, and there is something that you can hold your hat on to say, we have turned the corner. This is the right coach. This is the right coaching staff. We have the pieces in play to be a really overall solid team.
Yep.
Oklahoma, though, I don't know where to go. But like, rate, review, subscribe. Follow us on the social channels, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at SEC Unfiltered. Make sure that also you download the podcast version of the show wherever you get your podcast listening systems. Follow Dave at Mock 10 Sports, me at Mr. Cole Thompson. Check out all of our great work found at secunfiltered.com. And of course, hit that subscribe button because we got post-game live reaction shows later tonight. LSU, Arkansas, Texas, Georgia, third Saturday in October. Dave's going to be holding down the fort while I have to attend other business, but I will be back later tonight. And we'll be back to talk everything that we need to know about what's going on in the SEC. But for Dave Shumate, I'm Cole Thompson. Boomer, you just get ready for softball season. South Carolina, enjoy the bye week. Get ready for Texas A&M. Peace.